The second part of the Unova villain arc is coming out on Monday. And guess what? Sygna Suit N is coming out together with the update. But I've heard a lot of people say, Sygna Suit N, bad. Don't scout Sygna Suit N. Is he that bad though? In this video, we discussed that. So with that said, enjoy watching, sit tight, let's do this, cue the intro. Yo, yo, yo! This is Sol, also known as SPL also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, the artist Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX, guys. In this video, we are going to discuss about Sygna Suit N and Black Kyurem. But before that, don't forget to hit the thumbs up as well as subscribe if you haven't, as these videos take quite a while to make. And with my busy schedule, trying to sneak this here and there, would highly appreciate it if you would do that for me. But that aside, yeah, been hearing lots and seeing tier lists rank Sygna Suit N quite low. And you might be wondering, a lot of people have been wondering, why is that? Well, we will discuss that. But, you know, timeline first. As you might know, Sygna Suit N is coming out on November 14. That is on Monday. So 1 week after HUGH came out, and after 3 days, we have Colores, who is gonna come out as a Spotlight Scout. Now again, a refresher, the Sygna Suits in this update, that's Sygna Suit HILDA, Sygna Suit HILBERT, and Sygna Suit N are the limited units. That means after their banners end on December 2, there will be a span of time that they will be unscoutable. So say goodbye to them if you decide not to scout for them, and probably will be back next year, sometime next year. Meanwhile, you have HUGH and Colores, who are Spotlight Scouts, and Spotlight Scouts will return, or rather will appear in every most majority of the banners. They will be appearing after December 2. So if a banner comes out on December 3, they will be there in those banners. Select Scouts are a different story. Might take a couple of months before they appear in Select Scouts. But that aside, you know, normal answer is definitely skip the Spotlight Scouts. Unless you want one copy right now, you can invest 7,500 paid gems in order to obtain one copy of the Spotlight Scout units. Meanwhile, the limited units over here, well, got a lot of things to think of. You might want to wait until December, or, you know, end of the month, November 27, 28, 29, the data mine or the game update will come out on those days. But, you know, right now I'm gonna say it because I will be out of the country from November 30 to December 5. So just in case the data mine comes out December 20, or rather November 28, 29, well, I am sorry, I might not be able to make the scout or skip and gem count or something like that because I'll be busy packing up. But, you know, people have been speculating that there might be a Master Fair coming out in December. It's a huge possibility. I mean, last year we had a Master Fair come out on December. If I'm not mistaken, it's Sygna Suit Luzamine. If it's not Sygna Suit Luzamine, it was Renegade Cynthia. It's either of the two. Plus, we have the holiday limited units, holiday seasonal units coming out in December as well. And remember, this is the time of limited units. So November, we got these. December, we will get the limited holiday units. January, we will be getting the New Year units. February, we will be getting the Palentine's units. March, we will be getting the 3.5 year anniversary units. Plus, one more thing, the Evolution banner is also limited, coming out in the end of the month. So keep that in mind. And yeah, let me know if you're scouting for those banners. But I've spoken far too long here. Let's move on. If you want to see me ramble about these sync pairs, you can check out my November 2022 sync pairs HUGH Scout 4 video. But let's begin our analysis, which if you see this banner, congratulations, you have successfully scouted for Sygna Suit N and Kyurem. He has 2 different moves or 2 different attacks plus 1 buddy move. So you got Freeze Shock, you got Ice Beam, and you got B Noble Roar as Pokemon or as the moves that you can use to attack or debuff the opponents, as well as My Formula, which is his trainer move, raises the attack and special attack plus 4 and maximizes your critical hit rate. So you can only use My Formula once, so if you want to maximize your attack and special attack, you either have to have another sync pair to help you with that, or get some sync grid tiles, probably an MP refresh or some ramp up or something like that, in order to maximize your attack and special attack stats. You got a buddy move called B Noble Roar. How this works is that this is locked at the first time, and you have to use a Freeze Shock first. Use Freeze Shock, and B Noble Roar will be unlocked. And when you use B Noble Roar, every single opponent will have their attack, their special attack, and speed lowered -2. It also will give you a super effective up next effect, as well as give you a free move next effect to him. Plus, it gives you a physical moves up next effect plus 1, which you can use to power up your Freeze Shock as it is a physical attack. Normal attacks, you have Freeze Shock and Ice Beam. Ice Beam is a special attack that has a 10% chance of leaving the target frozen. But as you can see over here with the passive skills, you got Hostile Environment 1, which doubles the chances of freezing the opponent. That makes your Ice Beam have a 20% chance of freezing the opponent, as well as Freeze Shock having a 60% chance of leaving the target paralyzed. Now his special or his signature move is called Freeze Shock. This is a physical ice type attack, and his sync move is also a physical attack here. This is a 2-turn attack. First turn you use Freeze Shock, you get ready. You charge up. After charging up, B Noble Roar will unlock, and then once you fully charge up, you have to use Freeze Shock again, and then attack the opponent. This hits 1 opponent, and it's strong. The problem is, it's a 2-turn attack, guys. And 2-turn attacks take time. You know, sometimes it's important. Sometimes that split second of deciding whether you win a battle or you lose a battle depends on that tiny split second where you have to be faster than the opponent. And by having a 2-turn attack, you might miss that split second opportunity. The opponent attacks you first and you faint. And that's the biggest problem about Sygna Suit N. That split second, because you have to use Freeze Shock twice. Use Freeze Shock to charge up, use Freeze Shock again to attack the opponent. But then, you have a 30% or a 60% chance of leaving the opponent paralyzed. Plus, you can use B Noble Roar immediately after Freeze Shock, and you get to debuff all the opponents, give you a super effective up next. So if the opponent is weak to ice type moves, you can either use Freeze Shock again to deal stronger damage, or you can benefit from the super effective up next on your sync move, get yourself another multiplier for your sync move. Plus, you know, your next Freeze Shock will be free because it also gives you a free move next effect. So basically, the idea here is that you only have to invest in your first Freeze Shock, and then you use B Noble Roar, and you never have to use a single move gauge again using Sygna Suit N. That in itself is okay. It's not that bad, it's actually good. But then, you have to think that in order to do this, you have to use 3 turns. 2 turns for Freeze Shock, then B Noble Roar, then Freeze Shock, B Noble Roar, Freeze Shock, B Noble Roar. And then after 3 repetitions, you know, the opponent's attack, special attack, and speed stat will be debuffed to -6 already unless they decide to raise it up with X special attack all, X attack all, blah blah blah, X speed all, or their trainer moves. But we also have a nice passive skill called 2 Prepared 9. This is basically Propulsion 1 for Freeze Shock. Because Freeze Shock, you have to use 2 turns. So that basically 2 Prepared 9 is sync move countdown -2. And I'm not sure if it's the first use of Freeze Shock that lowers your sync move countdown, or is it the second use of Freeze Shock that lowers your sync move countdown, but it only deducts once as far as charging moves go. I might be wrong, they might change the mechanics. If they actually change the mechanics, this is actually good. But 2 Prepare 9 basically just lowers your sync move countdown -1 for the 2 turns that you use. So yeah, that's basically 2 Prepared 9. It lowers your sync move countdown -1, technically speaking. And Piercing Blows is the good thing about this one, you know. N, the original N introduced this passive skill. Now the other N, or another N, gets this passive skill. So you got N and Zekrom with Piercing Blows, N and Reshiram getting Piercing Blows, N and Kyurem getting Piercing Blows, which ignores the enemy's passive skills that lower the damage. Plus, you will be able to land critical hits all the time. Because it ignores vigilance, as long as you raise your critical hit rate and stuff like that. So those are the kit. Those basically are the kit. They are the move sets of N and Kyurem. Honestly, trying to be everything. A debuffer, an attacker, and well, that's that. So yeah, my initial feedback to this thing. You know, if Freeze Shock was a 1-turn move, his ranking will be much higher than what it is right now. People have been ranking him low because, you know, 2-turn attacks really are not that great. But, you know, he has a sync move, or rather he's a sync grid, which we will discuss right now. So 1 out of 5, you get Anti-Freeze, you got Headstrong, you got Snow Shelter. 2 out of 5, you get the first multiplier, Ice Beam, super duper effective 9, which basically doubles the damage of Ice Beam, basically. Comforting Hail, his stats will not be lowered in a Hailstorm. Healing Hail, you recover HP each time you use a move in a Hailstorm. My Formula MP Refresh 2 is definitely better than my Formula Ramp Up 2. Natural Remedy to cure all status conditions. Pinpoint Entry to raise your accuracy +1 at the start. Quick Cure removes confused, flinching, trap conditions. At 3 out of 5, you get Hostile Environment 2, which adds another ×2 chances of, you know, inflicting status conditions. I think it's not +20%. I think it's ×2, but I might be wrong, guys. So by getting Hostile Environment 2, you basically guarantee that you're able to paralyze the opponent once you use Freeze Shock, if I'm not mistaken. And Ice Beam having a pretty high chance of freezing the enemy, around 40 to 50% chance of freezing the enemy by getting Hostile Environment 2. Demoralizing Sync 6 and Dirty Sync 6 are his sync move multipliers, which I forgot to mention that he also has a built-in sync move multiplier. The lower the opponent's attack stat, the stronger the damage. I think this is called pecking order in sync move multiplier terms. So the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger the damage. This one, Demoralizing Sync 6, as long as the opponent's special attack stat is reduced, you get to deal around 60% stronger sync move damage. And Dirty Sync 6, as long as the opponent is paralyzed, burned, frozen, asleep, probably burned, probably paralysis is the way to go here because you want to use Freeze Shock. And yeah, as long as you're able to inflict a status condition on the opponent, you get to deal around 60% stronger sync move damage. You got Hasty Hail 3 to speed up the move gauge. You got Head Start 1 to lower your sync move countdown immediately at the start of the battle. My Formula Berserker 2, well, definitely an MP Refresh is still better than the Berserker 2 as well as Ramp Up 2. Piercing Gaze, attacks never miss. Sync Damage Guard. At the first time you use a Sync move, you will get a Damage Guard next effect. And then 2 Sync Nuke Tiles to power up his Sync move even more. Now, limited units starting the last update got 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 grids. And is it worthy to get an additional 1 or 2 copies of Sygna Suit N after 3 out of 5? Well, at 4 out of 5, you got Peak Readiness 9, which gives you a physical moves up next effect after you use Free Shock to prepare for your charging. So you get a physical moves up next effect, so you're guaranteed every single time you use Free Shock, you get to power up your Free Shock by 40% damage. If you follow this up with B Noble Roar already increases your physical moves up next effect plus 1 stat rank. So you plus every single stack of physical moves up next effect powers up your attack by 40%. So by getting the B Noble Roar physical moves up next effect plus getting the Peak Readiness physical moves up next effect, you get to power up your Free Shock by 80% damage. So that's 80% stronger multiplier. That's pretty strong. But again, you have to remember that Free Shock is a 2-turn attack. So that's the downside to that one. But getting Peak Readiness 9 will definitely make your attack stronger. Plus, again, if you follow this up with B Noble Roar, you probably will get a super effective up next effect unless you use that on the Sync move. Team Fast Track 9, every single time you use an attack, you get to speed up everyone speed plus 1. 5 out of 5, you get Soften Up 1. People underestimate Soften Up 1. This basically guarantees that your Sync move will be a critical hit. Once you raise your critical hit rate. And for tech units like Sygna Suit N who rely on multipliers galore, Soften Up 1 is a good thing, but it's locked at 5 out of 5. And later on, we will be discussing how bad that actually is. Ready for Anything 5 is actually one of my favorites, but then we have to see where it's located in the sync grid. Basically, this gives you a Damage Guard next effect, or rather a Healthy Buffer 5, or was it Healthy Benefits 5 effect every single time you are in a charging position. So, yeah, you have to use Free Shock when you're charging. When you have not yet attacked an opponent, you will have a 50% half damage. Not just the normal attacks of the opponent, but also the sync moves of the opponent. So 50% damage only received when you use Free Shock to charge up and not attack the opponent yet. This makes him pretty defensive. This might be helpful in terms of long-term battles. Short-term battles is definitely worthless, I guess. But in long-term battles, that might actually be the deciding factor. Save yourself from fainting. So, those are the grid tiles. Now we discuss how to set these up in actual. So, this is the sync grid of Sygna Suit N. This is the Poma Tools by STDK12. As you can see over here, this is a 1 out of 5 grid. And for a 1 out of 5 grid, yes, it is possible, I think, to get everything. Let me just remove something. So, I think it is possible to get everything. No problem with the energy, we are able to get everything. So, let's reset this. At 2 out of 5, my priority is most likely the multiplier. And we got one multiplier in the form of super duper effective 9 for Ice Beam. Here's my question. Do you want to use Ice Beam? I think you want to use Free Shock even more than Ice Beam. So, do I get an MP refresh? There's a trainer move MP refresh over there, blocked by an Ice Beam. We got Free Shock. I think I will focus on Free Shock. So let me get those Free Shock multipliers. pinpoint entry to increase your accuracy. What is the accuracy of freeze shock anyway? Freeze shock accuracy is 90%. So getting the pinpoint entry might be helpful. So we get this. Maybe get a healing hail depending on whatever you have in your team. Probably a freeze shock accuracy +5. Probably a snow shelter here and there. But most likely it's gonna be something like this. Most likely. It's gonna be something close to this. Unless you want to go for Ice Beam. Now, 3 out of 5, things get even more interesting. We reset this. I want to get the multipliers. Definitely multipliers are my priority here. So I want to get Freeze Shock. Probably I want to get its block here. So let me get Hostile Environment 2, Dirty Sink. And I'm out of energy. Can I get this? Attack +10. So I think that's gonna be my tiles. We got pinpoint entry to raise our accuracy stat. At least our freeze shock will most likely not miss. We got demoralizing sink and dirty sink 6 for the multipliers. We got an attack +10. We got a sink nuke tile over here. We can replace quick cure probably with these if you want. Nope, not enough energy. Probably something like this. That's still enough. So yeah. That is our 3 out of 5 grid prioritizing the multipliers. But I did not get this MP refresh for my formula. You might want to get this instead. Like, can I remove this and get this? No, it's not enough. It's not enough. How about I remove pinpoint entry, swap this? Okay, it's enough now. But the accuracy of freeze shock is not full. So you have to consider. You have to think of how to do this. 4 out of 5. We got peak readiness and team fast track 9. My priority is still going for the multipliers. So can we get quick cure sync move here? Alright, that actually works. We got peak readiness 9, head start 1, demoralizing sync 6, hostile environment 2, and dirty sync 6. Got all the multipliers active. We got peak readiness 9. Sacrifice team fast track 9 over here. Last but not the least, 5 out of 5. Where we got soften up 1 in the top corner. Is it possible to get everything? Tak tak. Tak tak. Tak tak. Not enough energy, guys. This is the problem with 5 out of 5 grids. Can I get this? Okay, I was able to get everything. I did not get peak readiness 9, which is a sad thing. But I'm able to get a sink nuke tile. I'm able to get hostile environment 2, dirty sink 6, soften up 1, head start 1, demoralizing sink 6. Probably we can release the head start 1 and get something else instead. How about this? Nope, not enough energy. How about this? No. How about this? No. How about this? Okay. That actually works as well. I did not get head start 1, but maybe getting head start 1 is a better thing to do. So, here's the problem about 5 out of 5 grids. DNA does not give us enough energy. DNA gives us more sync move tiles, sync grid tiles. DNA does not give us enough energy to do this. And it sucks because you cannot get the best of, you cannot power him up. I mean, ready for anything 5. I've been talking about this earlier about how I like this. But I cannot get ready for anything 5 because just getting these alone are not enough. So, DNA, if you're actually watching this, Pokemon Masters team, if you're actually watching this, and you want to promote the 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 2 out of 5 shake my head tiles, you better do something about the energy levels. Raise them plus 100 or something like that, for us to be able to get those sync grid tiles. Do you guys agree? I hope you guys agree, guys, because We cannot get a lot of these things. It sucks. And that's why I did not prioritize Sygna Suit HILDA 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Because the best things out of Sygna Suit HILDA is at 3 out of 5. And if you attempt to even go close to 4 out of 5 tiles, you cannot get those stuff. Same thing for Sygna Suit Wally with his extended Fairy Fairy Zone extension, something like that. You have to sacrifice very important tiles and cannot get the other much more important tiles in order to do this. So 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 is a joke. But at least for this one, at least we can still get somehow the multipliers as well as Soften Up 1. I believe Soften Up 1 is pretty good, not pretty important. Because you only have an 80% chance at maximum crit to land a critical hit rate or to land a critical sync move. And it sucks if you don't land a critical because the damage, if you got the shields for the opponent, the damage will be cut by half. More than half actually. So by assuring that you're guaranteed to land a critical hit, that's actually much better than nothing. So that was it for the sync grid tiles. Again, that was my rant, and hope that you guys, tell me in the comment section if you agree that DNA has to give us more energy in order to get those tiles. But that's that for his kit. And now, why is Colress in this slide? Let me just skip through this one. And now, again, for the timeline, a reminder to you guys, because a lot of people keep asking me about the timeline when I show this slide so many times. It's coming out on Monday, ends on December 2, just like all the other units from this update. He is a limited unit, just like Sygna Suit HILDA and Sygna Suit HILBERT. So if he's gone, he's gonna be gone for quite a while. Meanwhile, all limited units have 5 out of 5 tiles, but his 5 out of 5 tile, 4 out of 5 tiles are not that important compared to Sygna Suit HILBERT's 5 out of 5 tiles with the multipliers at 5 out of 5, and that is cakewalk. I think it's locked at 5 out of 5. So no multipliers at 5 out of 5. We got 4 out of 5 peak readiness 9 though, which increases your damage by 40%, which is nice, but it's not that important. Sync move multipliers are better than attack move multipliers. So in terms of these sync pairs over here, Sygna Suit N is in the middle ground for everything. Not the highest, not the lowest for everything. Pretty balanced all in all. Second to the highest defense, second to the highest special defense, with Colress having the highest defenses out of this update. HP in the middle ground, attack pretty high, special attack pretty high as well, speed pretty okay. But remember that by using him, basically you only need to use your your move gauge once. Freeze shock, be noble roar, and following that order, freeze shock, be noble roar, freeze shock, be noble roar. You only have to use your move gauge once ever by using that. But if you jump to Ice Beam, definitely you'll be using a move gauge. But free shock, be noble roar, free move gauge. And let me just confirm right now that be noble roar actually does not use move gauge. Yes, I don't think it uses the move gauge, but correct me if I'm wrong, guys. So in terms of the multipliers over here, you can see that Sygna Suit N can give himself a super effective up next every single time you use a be noble roar, which is okay. Not bad. I like that. But, you have to pass through 3 turns in order to go for those multipliers. You got Demoralizing Sync 6. If the opponent's special attack has been lowered by even 1, got 60% stronger damage. Dirty Sync 6, as long as the opponent has a status condition, get to deal 60% stronger damage. And the lower the opponent's attack stat, you get to increase your sync move damage, the lower the opponent's attack stat is. In terms of the attack move multipliers, 2 out of 5 unlocks Ice Beam, super duper effective 9. You got a physical moves up next, 1 stat rank, 1 rank up by using Be Noble Roar. And you can get the other one with Peak Readiness 9 unlocked at 4 out of 5. And just look at the others for the other multipliers for the other sync pairs. Now, I decide to compare him with other Ice-type tech units in the game. And there are actually 4 other Ice-type techs in the game. One of them does not have a 6-star EX yet. And these are the sync pairs that I decide to compare him with. Sygna Suit N compared with Bryson, Candice, Getsis, who got a 6-star EX recently, getting a power boost soon, and Holiday Nessa over here. Sygna Suit N, those multipliers, and you can just see the multipliers for yourself. We got Hail multipliers for Bryson, for Candice, as well as for cosplay, or rather for Holiday Nessa. Meanwhile, Getsis relies on debuffing, as well as inflicting paralysis on the opponent. And what else? Bryson relies on freezing the opponent. Candice relies on increasing her speed stat. And Nessa relies on Hail and increasing her speed stat. And in terms of counting the damage of these things, well, Jack helped me compute the numbers over here, and thank you, Jack, for these numbers. And with the computations, we can say that with all the weather conditions required with super duper effective or super effective up next, you know, some of these sync pairs cannot give themselves super effective up next like Getsis and Bryson. But we're assuming that every single sync pair can give themselves super effective up next with the opponent's lowest stats, with everyone at 5-star, 20 out of 20, or 6-star EX if there is a 6-star EX. This is what this will look like. Sygna Suit N has the strongest attack, 3,797,798, and let me say that this does not include any stack of physical moves up next effect yet. So if you go for Be Noble Roar, you get a +1 physical moves up next effect. That damage will be increased by 40%. So yeah, getting Peak Readiness 9 will get you another physical moves up next effect, meaning your damage will be increased by another 40%. That's an 80% increase in damage. So we are not computing them in that, or we have not incorporated that in that computation. Strongest sync nuker of the bunch with 16,833,484. Pretty easy to trigger multipliers. Just lower the opponent's attack stat. The lower the opponent's attack stat, the stronger the damage. Lower the opponent's special attack stat -1. Inflict a status condition. Give yourself a super effective up next by using Be Noble Roar before your sync move. Get to deal that amount of damage. Getsis is the second one with 14M. Candice is the third one, but then it's kind of difficult to trigger some of the multipliers of Candice. Like, you have to speed yourself. Well, the super effective up next is kind of challenging to trigger. I mean, it's depends on the trainer move. Once your trainer move is gone, well, no more super effective up next. But then Sygna Suit N can give himself unlimited super effective up next. Meanwhile, Bryson has to no 6-star EX yet. Have to freeze the opponent, have to make it heal. And interestingly, Nessa sync move damage is pretty low. I'm surprised to see it's only 7,444,000. So that means if Bryson actually gets a 6-star EX form, Bryson's sync move damage will be higher than Holiday Nessa. That's actually interesting. Meanwhile, attack move multipliers, Sygna Suit N comes in first place out of the bunch, then Getsis is the second one. Holiday Nessa is the third, Bryson is the fourth, Candice is the last one. In terms of ranking everyone, in terms of their attack, the strongest is actually Wolfric with Avalanche. But then Avalanche is a counter attack. So if the opponent attacks you, you can get an Endure effect. I think you get Endurance in his sync grid. You have to use Endurance, expect the opponent to drop your HP to 1 in order to land that much damage for Avalanche. But excluding Avalanche, Sygna Suit N will definitely come out on top, followed by Holiday Leon with 3,317,533, followed by Getsis, followed by Price, who got a 6-star EX fairly recently. And in terms of sync move damage, you got Wolfric, or rather you got Sygna Suit N first place, followed by Getsis, followed by Holiday Leon, followed by Wolfric, followed by Price. Interestingly, in terms of the sync move damage, Holiday Leon as a striker is stronger than the tech sync pair. Interestingly. But then Holiday Leon, if you actually check his sync grid, this is assuming we get all the tiles in the grid. And it's impossible to get all the tiles in the grid. This is a fairly faulty thing, but we have started with it and we will be pushing it until the very end. Holiday Leon's multipliers rely on hail plus freezing the opponent. So if you're able to do those, and if you're able to get all the tiles in his grid, he will be stronger than Holiday Nessa. But if you're not, well, Holiday Nessa will definitely come higher than that. Sygna Suit N, well, that's supposed to be Getsis, just ignore the text. And then Candice is third place, then Holiday Leon, then Holiday Nessa. Take note that this is, there are not a lot of Ice-type texting pairs. So they can actually introduce more in the future. Right now, you can see that the sync nuke damage of the other types, excluding poison, I think, reach 20M in our computations. So with Sygna Suit N just at 16M, you might be wondering, why is he weak and stuff? Well, because DNA is building up to some power. What's that called? I forgot the term. Power creep. Power creep, guys. So, expect the future. Who knows? Holiday units, there might be an ice type that is much stronger than Sygna Suit N. Wait for it. If they release an ice type, expect the ice type to land to be stronger in terms of sync nuke than Sygna Suit N, or probably next year, or something like that. So he is gonna be a victim of power creep fairly soon because there are not a lot of ice type tech sync pairs in the game. Much like Fall Iris is the first ever 5-star or 6-star EXable poison type tech sync pair in the game. So expect her to be power creep really soon as well. So that's that. And if you enjoyed these computations, don't forget to hit the thumbs up again. For me, for Jack, for everyone who worked hard in order to do these slides and everything. But I have to remember that there is this thing. This comes out on November 21. This is the EV Day. EV Day started a couple of years ago. It's gonna be November 21 each year. And this is a limited banner. The weird thing about this banner is that none of these sync pairs are 6-star EXable. But they're limited. And we haven't had that since a long time ago. I think the last one to not have limited or to not have 6-star EXs were the Summer units, Summer Lyra, Summer Steven. I mean, their reruns, they finally got us a 6-star EX form, but then every single next holiday or seasonal sync pairs that came after that, I think, had 6-star EX. The last sync pair, the last holidays, the last limited sync pair to not have a 6-star EX, excluding excluding Rachel and Sawyer, who are 4 stars, is actually Holiday Seabolt. But now Holiday Seabolt has a 6-star EX. And they're introducing limited units that do not have 6-star EX. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sus. And we have to be cautious about this one because they might do this more often. Variety Scouts. So this is just EV Day Variety Scouts. They might come up with other days of Variety Scouts. So either leave feedback or probably we wait and see. I am expecting these sync pairs to have a 5% chance of appearing. If it's lower than 5%, I am not gonna be happy about that. Because they do not bring in anything good to the game of Pokemon Masters. But guys, that's that. That was my rant, and scout for your faves. As I always say, play with the style that you like and don't follow the meta. Because everyone's gonna be power creep very soon. And that's that. That's the end of this video. If you want to check out our depressing gem count, you haven't seen it yet, you can check out my How Many Gems Can We Get for the month of November 2022 link will be down there in the description. But with that, we are done with our Scout and Skip video for Sygna Suit N and Black Kyurem. All in all, what do I have to say? He's not bad. He is not bad. He's probably better than what people think he is. Why is he ranked low in tier lists? The biggest reason is that you need 2 turns in order to use his attack, his strong attack. And 3 turns to debuff the opponent. 2 turns for free shock, and then Be Noble Roar will be unlocked. And you use Be Noble Roar, it takes a very long time to do that. You do not have the luxury in order to do that. But if you have the luxury to do that, he is a very, very, very good unit with very easy to trigger multipliers. And the most important thing is you only have to use your move gauge once. Which, before I keep ranting about it, let me right now confirm that I am actually saying the correct thing. Let me see, Be Noble Roar, does it not eat up any move gauge? Because if it actually eats up the move gauge, well, what I'm saying is actually wrong and inaccurate. So give me a sec, let me check. Be Noble Roar, does it use move gauge? No, it does not use any move gauges. No, it does not. So, you only have to use your move gauge, 4 move gauges, once. Ever. As long as you stick to free shock and not move to Ice Beam. Because Ice Beam will still use a move gauge. So, if you wanna combine him with Getsis, who uses 4 move gauges for Glaciate, go ahead, because he does not eat up any move gauge aside from the very first time you have to use him. And that's a nice thing. And I think that's the most important thing of him. But, yeah. What do you guys think? Why are you scouting him? Is he your favorite character? Is Black Kyurem your favorite character? Is Zekrom or something your favorite character? Are you an N fan? Let me know in the comment section. And as usual, I would like to thank all the members of my channel who have been supporting me for the last 2 years. Thank you, Shadowphil, Marokman, Tacman, Shido Vods, Alcin, Roy, Luca, Jeremy, Sasri, Ambrion, Marcella, Arima, Iwis, Tatsuya, Goldap, Saras Gaming, and TechMech. Thank you so much for your generosity. And if you want to help me out as well, these videos take a while, click the join button down below. Join us in the sussiest channel you can find for Pokemon Masters and have some fun. in the live chat with the emoticons and the badges and everything like that. But with that said, I am done. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist team's called Grunt. And I will see you in the next video. Right.